Hello, everyone. This is Animezingly Baka, the amazingly stupid podcast all about anime and movies and TV shows and manga and comics and books and music and so much more, except it's rarely ever about any of that stuff either. I am, of course, your host, Mark Krishnez, but it is rarely about any of that other stuff. I just say all that because this is the home for all things not video games, but I never really get around to anything other than anime and movies and maybe the occasional TV show. But I swear to God, I will at some point read some manga. The very, very dumb but very, very me reason for not reading any manga yet is because while I have a subscription to the Shonen Jump app, I do not have a subscription to the Viz Manga app, which is their home for your non-Shonen Jump stuff. And the reason why I don't is because I keep meaning to start my subscription on the 3rd of the month, I believe, so that my 7-day trial will end on the 10th, and then my subscription, my paid subscription, will start, and it will align with my Shonen Jump subscription. I want them to be on the same day, and every time I forget and it's the 4th or the 5th, and I realize, well, that means my Viz Manga subscription will start on the 11th or the 12th or so on and so forth. I just can't do it. I can't have them not aligned on the same day. It drives me nuts. And I thought right now, just before recording this episode, maybe I should just start my trial now. Then I'll cancel my trial. I won't start my subscription so that I can just start it on the 10th of the next month. And maybe I should do that because this is getting ridiculous. Even though most of the manga I would want to read right now are Shonen Jump manga, so there's no real reason for me not to, one, read stuff, and there's no real reason for me not to sign up for Viz Manga already and not have this stupid alignment bullshit that I need to do because I'm neurotic and broken in that way. I also got the email that you would have gotten if you are a subscriber as well, telling me about the increase in price. I believe when I first signed up, Shonen Jump was $2 a month. Then they went up to $3 a month, and now it's $4 a month. Over that period of time, I have never read a single chapter ever, but I've continued supporting it because I think it is a very good value for the money, and I like supporting the industry in the ways I can. So, yeah, I haven't minded spending over $100 for sure at this point, but I'm not sure what the grand total would be at this point. But to say at this point twice in the matter of 10 seconds or so, Jesus Christ, me. Anywho, I'm here to talk about some anime. I am all caught up with everything, I believe. I'm a little confused about some of the scheduling. I don't know why, or at least it feels like Sakamoto Days is a day behind or two behind, because I watched one last week for the episode, and I figured there'd be a new episode to watch between then and now, and it's not coming out until tomorrow, the 21st, the day of this episode's release. I don't know if that's going to be the new scheduling, or it just seems off to me. Maybe I'm confused, but there's no new Sakamoto Days to talk about. And then One Piece, I did catch up, but that is on a week break. I don't know why. I don't know if it's the same reason for Gachi Akuta's break, but the 3rd episode of Gachi Akuta is delayed. And that disappointed me because that's one of my favorites. That's my favorite new show of the season. So I was disappointed not to see that. But those are the main outliers, or those are the outliers in the sense that One Piece on a break, maybe potentially delayed for the same reason as Gachikuta. Gachikuta is delayed, and Sakamoto Days feels off by a day or two. That could just be Netflix being Netflixy in its stupid Netflixy ways where it does whatever it does. I don't know. But that leaves My Dress Up Darling, Dandadan, The Summer Hikaru Died, Dr. Stone, Witch Watch, and is that it for me? No. Kaiju number 8. That actually finally aired its first episode of season 2. Let's talk about that one, I guess, since that is the brand new episode of the week. I thought it was okay. I thought it was fine. There's some fun stuff. We have Kaiju number 8. I forget the name of any character on the show. And part of what I think was a not great thing for Kaiju number 8 for me was watching it immediately after Dandadan and My Dress Up Darling, which are my favorite shows of the season. My Dress Up Darling is an all-timer for me. Dandadan could very well end up being an all-timer for me. And both of those are very colorful in their own ways. My Dress Up Darling is just kind of traditionally colorful and whatnot. And Dandadan, so far in season 2, is just so fucking purple with hints of other colors, but it is very heavy on the purple right now, and I am loving it. I have grown to really love purple and lavender and just all shades of your more muted purples. I don't like deep, dark purples. Think of your grape jellies or something along those lines. I don't like that dark, deep purple, but your more light, flowery purples. I love them. And this Dandadan is just all that. And Kaiju number 8 is very muted in general, its color palette. Not a lot of vibrancy. It suits the world and the story and all that, but it is a bit of a come down after watching 2 shows that are very much not that. But this episode, in part, I feel like I forgot exactly how the first season left off, and maybe that first thing they aired was a bridge between the two, and I should have watched that because I couldn't remember if season 1 ended, and I kind of remembered more as I watched this episode, but I couldn't remember if it ended exactly as they realized Kafka was Kaiju number 8, or if more had happened. And then I remembered, okay, yeah, he had the face off between with what is her name? Hikaru? Is that her name? Is that what we call? I guess Hikaru. These names, I remember Kafka and Reno, and then everyone else is just like, eh. And I guess Mina, his childhood friend, but Hikaru, her father, he has the face off with him to see how in control he is of all this stuff. Can it be useful, or should they just terminate him now and all that? At least that's what I think happened. That's my recollection. And this episode is about where his future lies. What are they going to use Kaiju number 8 for? And they end up putting him in with the first division, where Hikaru is also been stationed. And depending on how he does on the missions, if he's found to be useful, good. If not, fucking termination. We are introduced to the captain of the first division, who is this neat like dude, just wants to play his video games, do his Gundam models and all that shit. He's fun, and that's where a lot of the fun in this episode comes from. But overall, I thought it was just okay. It didn't get me excited in the same way, or the thing is,
it's a little hard when it has Don Don and My Dress Up Darling to compete with, which are two of the best shows of the last 5 years, I'd say. Two of the best anime. And I can't remember if Kaiju number 8 came out the same time as Solo Leveling Season 1. Because if it did, that's another. I don't know if I would put it up that highly because it is very shallow and it is just a OP fest where you just see this dude destroying everything with no real hurdles. But it was that first season, so we weren't quite sure where it was going to go, how great it was going to be, so on and so forth. So it didn't have that to live up to. But now, while I really enjoyed the first season, and I'm not disliking this, it's a little underwhelming. And I'm curious if other people found it a bit underwhelming as well. Just in the overall season where you have My Dress Up Darling being fantastic, Don Don being fantastic. I'm very, very excited, pleasantly surprised by Gachikuta. You have the summer that Hikaru died, which I'm not saying it's gonna, I don't want to say it's losing me, but I'll get to that next. But it's just fine. I thought I was going to be super excited about its return and leave the first episode being unable to wait for the next one, but I'm not. I'm just kind of like, okay, it's finally back. The first episode finally aired. All right. I'll watch the next one. And that's kind of where I'm at with Kaiju number 8 right now. Part of me wants to go back and rewatch the first season. But yeah. There's also I know complaints about people regarding the art style of Kaiju number 8 compared to the source material. And I didn't have those in the first season, but I kind of feel them now just because of how good My Dress Up Darling looks, how good Don Danon looks, how good Gachikuta looks, how good Hikaru looks. There's so many great looking anime this season that while Kaiju number 8 doesn't look bad, it doesn't have as strong of a personality as these other shows. All these other shows, even My Dress Up Darling, which is a very traditional, it's just, it's a rom-com show. It has such a high fidelity and such a love and care put into its animations in the subtlety of a lot of things that it stands out compared to similar-esque shows. Kaiju number 8 just, it's not quite there. Yeah. Moving on to the summer that Hikaru died. I don't want to say it's losing me. It's not losing me because so much about it is very, very strong. The mood and atmosphere continues to be incredibly strong. The performances are so good. The art and animation, great. And I guess in this third episode, it kind of got me back in with the second half of the episode. The first half, though, I was kind of getting to the point where I was asking myself, where are we exactly going with this story? What are we doing? What is this show? And as it went on, I kind of got back on the horse, if we want to call it that. But it still is something where I'm not all in right now. And I don't know what the problem is with me. Because I'm very well understanding that this is a slow burn show. This is going to be a slow burn. And I have nothing against slow burns. I've enjoyed many a slow burn. But I think with many slow burns as well, it just is something that when you're in it, it may not always be the most enjoyable ride. I think of Steins Gate as one of the most perfect examples of a very slow burn in that first half, where the first half of that first season is all build up. It is all build up, and it is a slog. It's way worse than the summer that Hikaru died, and that I would almost go so far as to say the first half of Steins Gate is bad, but it all serves a purpose. It is all there as a build up to the second half, so that you can't have the incredible second half of Steins Gate without the first half as I smack the mic. And that's what I'm just, while you're in it, as we are with Hikaru, I'm wondering with ever so slight concern if it's going to be a rewarding whole experience, which is me just, you know, I'm forgetting the phrase, breaking the record. What is the record? It's not playing the right. I forget the phrase apparently suddenly. I am a broken record. That's what I'm not breaking the record. I'm a broken record with the sentiment, because I feel like I've said this every single week of the show's existence so far. But the art and everything else about it's such a well-made show that I am still very much so going to continue watching it. I'm in no danger of dropping it. I am just it's on the lower tier for me. Is the best way to put it. In that I have my shows that I'm watching, my seasonal shows that I'm watching, and it's right at the bottom. It's above Kaiju number 8 currently, but if you release every brand new episode on the same day, I'd be watching My Dress Up Darling, Don Da Don, Gachikuta before it, and that's it. I'd even watch Witch Watch before it. Dr. Stone is that kind of. Let's just get Dr. Stone out of the way. Dr. Stone. I I don't even remember what happened in this lesson, but it's just they're doing what they're doing. And yeah, I just remember the one dude, his best friend, was chopping wood, chopping trees in the forest because they need fuel and all that jazz. They make a sail so that they can make speed and not let the other guys who are chasing them catch up. But I remember the one dude was chopping trees and like, man, I know he's got unlimited stamina, but everyone's got to sleep. Everyone's got to eat. You still got to do what you got to do. So I like Hikaru more. It's just Dr. Stone's a lot easier to get through. So that's probably, I would probably watch it over it. It doesn't take as much of a investment in me. But you might be saying maybe you should be more invested, and then you would actually be able to remember about it. Whatever. I don't care. I like it. I don't know. It's Dr. Stone. Witch Watch is back to its 3-act structure of little comedic bits. You had the first act where I always forget the first act, I feel like. The first act was the vampire, I think, trying to do something nice for the ogre, cooking a meal, and it all fucks up. Or that's the second one. Because there was another part where he blurted out, oh, I can get energy from all these things, but when I also get energy from people, I get their feelings as well. And I got so much of how much you love the ogre to the witch. And everyone gets a blank face like, oh my God, you just said out loud her private feelings for the ogre because he doesn't know. And of course, they were talking to him just seconds before this. But when he revealed this, he somehow magically put in some noise canceling earbuds, preventing him from hearing the reveal, the confession, if you want to call it that. And I I'm getting a little tired of that shit. The convenience of this show, because it's funny, but it's also to the point where it's getting very repetitive, and I'm kind of sick of how often that happens. But then you had him losing his parasol, his umbrella that helps him be out in the sun, being a vampire and all that jazz. Goes on a little adventure where he gets a cloud crown over him, thanks to the witch. So he has to go buy a new one, but he ends up finding his old one. But the whole time he's out there, he has to remain sad. He can't get happy, because if he gets happy, the cloud reflects his emotions. So if he gets happy, the cloud goes away. So he has to be sad. And that was funny. Witch Watch is a funny little pleasant aside show. It's a very good in between your heavier shows. It would make a good break between. There's not really that I'm watching multiple heavy shows like Hikaru, but something like Gachikuto, which is very intense, and Hikaru is a good in between little break between those two types of shows. Still enjoying that. Then Dandadan. Gigi's possessed form is so attractive. He's so sexy. I don't know how else to put it. He's a good looking. I mean, all the transformations in Dandadan are great. The art in general is great. The character design in general is great. It is such a good looking show. And in this one, we got to see the clash between Okurun and Gigi in their transformed states, which was very, very fun. Some good fighting there, great animation, great colors, great sexy expressions from Gigi. And they defeated the giant sandworm thing through. Why I'm conflating these two names. Driving me crazy. Momo figures out how to get the worm to surface and get killed by the sun because of a memory she has with Gigi when they were kids. And Gigi was telling her about how they breathe underground, but when it rains, it makes it so that they can't breathe, and then they come up out of the dirt onto the surface to breathe because they need to, and then after rain, sun comes out and they get dried up and die, and it's called earthworm suicide or something like that. And she recalls that memory and sets the house on fire, gets the firemen to get there, and uses that as a means to get the worm to surface and kill itself, basically. It was just a really, really good episode that ends this particular arc. And now where we're going to go from here for the rest of the season is anyone's guess, unless you've read the manga. But I am continuing to love Dandadan. It's so fun. It's so well animated. And again, the transformations are just so good. I look at the transformations, and it's one of the shows and styles that I look at and I most think to myself, you know what? I don't cosplay, and we'll speak about cosplay very soon. But if I did, I'd kind of want to cosplay as these characters because all of them look so fucking good. They just look so cool. I like looking at them. So yeah, Dandadan continues to look fantastic and be fantastic. Just be a lot of fun. And then My Dress Up Darling is it is cementing with every additional episode its place as one of my all-time favorite shows. I adore it. I love Gojo so much. He's such a pure soul. I love Marin. We were introduced to this well, we met them last episode, but getting more of their story. I'm glad. I like how positive My Dress with Darlene is overall, but I'm glad that it wasn't overwhelmingly positive, and that with this new character we were introduced to, he's going through his discovery of enjoying dressing up as girls, and how he came about that first through his sister doing his makeup and realizing, oh, I look like a completely different person, and gradually coming to terms with how much he liked it and all that, and how supportive his sister was, or how supportive she is, along with his mother. His father doesn't. I don't know if his father's dead or what. There's no mention of his father, so he's either not in the picture or whatever. But no conflict there. So it's all very, very positive and supportive. And I was like, yeah, this is great. I love that about this show. But at the same time, you know that in real life, it's not going to be all perfect, especially with things like this. And he talks about when he got to college, he had his first girlfriend. And when she finally came back to his place and saw all his dresses, she immediately jumped to the assumption that he has a girlfriend and, he's cheating, blah, 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 so on. He's not a bad dude, whatever. And he immediately says, no, 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 these are my dresses. It's just a hobby of mine. I like dressing up as girls every now and again. And she drops the dress she's holding to the ground. You have to stop this now. That it is not right. You shouldn't be doing this. And in that moment, it feels heavy because it is. No one wants to be open and vulnerable and have someone they care about in the moment push them down in that case. And so it does that well. But it does quickly then just brush it off with a joke. It's not brushing it off. It's just that this show shows you that character. What is his name? I want to know his name. If I can find them immediately in all of these characters, they're not thrown up as one of the immediate ones. Oh my God, where are you? Where are you? I give up. I give up trying to find who the character's name. But as they're telling the story to both Gojo and Marin, they're just like, and then I just broke up with my girlfriend because obviously, who wants to be with someone who's not supportive of your hobbies, your loves, your interests? If they can't accept you for who you are, you don't change who you are. You find someone who will accept you. And the rest of the episode is just about how they're so happy that they've had this positive experience at this event on that day. Well, not the rest of the episode, but that whole storyline, and just being happy with that acceptance. And it's just a nice, pleasant thing. They go to the boob shop too, shows them the fake boobs. You can equip boobs, as we know. And there was a little fun moment where Marin was, because the other cosplayer puts a pair of the fake boobs on Gojo. It's like, see, look, even on you, they'll be a little bit tight because they're for a smaller frame. And then Marin starts fondling Gojo's boobs. And he gets very, very embarrassed in a very cute way. And it's a sweet little moment. I love this show. I love it so much. But then after the event is over and all that, they are at a modeling shoot for Marin where she's doing a bunch of winter clothing. Talk about how they typically will shoot 3 to 4 months in advance of stuff. So they'll do winter clothing in the summer months. And of course, that's very unpleasant for the model because it's hot and they're wearing winter clothing. Not great. The agent of her I'm not sure. Assumes, like everyone does, that Gojo is her boyfriend, and he brushes it off very quickly, or quickly denies it as he does. And as he also does, uses questionable phrasing. Our relationship is purely about money. And the agent's like, what does he mean by that? But after the modeling shoot, how did the episode wrap up? Because that was one of the first ones I watched. So I watched everything after it. So it's not as fresh in my mind because I love it so much. My immediate thought after watching the episode, though, was, my God, I really just need to rewatch the first season. Even though I don't need it for continuity or for remembering what happens, I just want to. My Joseph Darling, I think, needs to be in a catalog and a collection of things I watch yearly. Because I just love this show. It is such a feel-good show. It makes me happy watching it. I don't often, I'm a very dead-faced person. I don't express a lot. And when I was watching the episode, when they got to the boob fondling scene, put a smile on my face. And when it did, I was like, that's why this show is special. Because it can get me to smile and say, in my head, I don't say out loud, man, this show is just absolutely delightful. I love the hell out of it. How did it wrap up? Because she also loved, this was still in the event phase. There might not have even been that much. Oh no, now I remember. They left because they had a birthday party to celebrate, and it was for the character, not Marin's or Gojo's. And my God, Marin was giving it to that body pillow. Holy crap, she was just. Gojo was just there with the paper mask on his face, sitting there very politely, not moving, not saying anything, thinking to himself, what am I witnessing? What am I watching here? And Gojo is just rubbing up and down on that body pillow, maybe half the time, because it just cuts to her being all over this room, celebrating this character all over the place. And that was very cute. I just love this show. I love how positive it is. I love how cute and pure it is. I understand if people don't like the bits of fan service in it, but again, it's not fan service all the time, every time, and it's always contextualized, in my opinion. But I can't recommend that show highly enough. I think it is amazing, and I love the fact that it is such a well-produced, well-animated, well-drawn show, so that you get all these subtleties in terms of the way characters interact with each other, the way they emote. It's all very expressive. It's not the type of show you would assume would have that kind of stuff or need that kind of stuff, but it shows that any kind of show, even something like this, benefits from having such high production values. So yeah, my Just Darling, best show of the season. I don't think anything for me has the potential of beating it for best anime of the year. I'm not sure what else is returning this year. Is Jujutsu Kaisen coming? Jujutsu Kaisen is not going to top it for me. I'm trying to remember what big ones are out there. And Don I adore, but it's just, my Joseph Darling is my genre. Rom-coms, romances of any kind, when they're done very well, I love them. One of my favorite anime of all time is God, I fucking hate the title. Like the Kawi Complex Guide to blah 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 and hostile behavior. That's a manga I've read. That no, because I read all of. Did I read all of Orange? But I read all of A Silent Voice, and I think just hostile behavior. Those two. And the manga is so good, and it breaks my heart that we only got that first season, but I love that first season, and I love that manga. I would love to own it physically, but I don't believe it's ever been released physically in the States. The English version was available through the original Crunchyroll manga app, and maybe is in the new one, which, God, has it come out yet? I know they were going to be, I don't know. I have to look into that as well. But anywho, that's it for all the anime. And then movie-wise, I don't really feel like there's anything important to say. I spent enough time talking about anime and all that jazz. Anywho, so this will be an anime exclusive episode. And yeah, that'll do it for this here episode of Animezingly Baka. Once again, I am Marcus Nez. Y'all can find me pretty much everywhere at PX Sausage. If you enjoy this here show or any of the stuff I do and what have you, you can support me and my nonsense over at patreon.com/PXS. In addition to the Patreon, you can find links to the site. No. You can support me, patreon.com/PXS, where you can get access to a monthly Q&A, a private Discord channel, along with some fancy Discord roles, and the random drop on the Patreon here or there, depending on your tier. That is, again, patreon.com/PXS. In addition to the Patreon, you can find links to the site, the YouTube, the Discord, and so much more over at pxsausage.com. That is the letter P, the letter X, sausage.com. But that is it. That is all. As always, thank you for watching or listening. I hope you enjoyed this here episode, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. But for now, adios, arrivederci. Bye bye. Is it dead? Yeah, it's dead. Let's redo that stupid ass Stream Deck. Just doesn't want to work. What are you full on dead? What are you doing? You stupid thing. All right. Adios. Arrivederci. Bye bye. There we go.